Hey everybody, welcome back. This is a speed build that I did yesterday. This was basically a picture that I saw on Pinterest of this Japanese style house that was in the middle of this mountain with a lot of waterfalls and everything else like that. So I tried to imitate it as best I could. I struggled with the terrain. I restarted it a few times and then I thought I had it, but when my sim couldn't walk up this path that I started to create, and no matter how many times I tried, I couldn't get it to just be one smooth path. So I ended up having to put in a set of stairs, which was fine. It worked out in the end, and I was happy with it all in all. But yeah, so I started building out this terrain, and I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to achieve this photo that I saw, but I'll include it at the end so you guys can see the photo, and if there's any info on the picture on Pinterest once I look at it, I'll definitely include that in the description box as well to give credit as to the photo that I got. So anyways, you can see here I just started with this round piece. In the photo there is water that goes all around the Japanese style house. And there was a ton of cherry blossoms and just all these different levels of water, and there was a lot of mist and fog, I guess, created from the waterfalls. So I wanted to show that somehow. So I ended up using the bubblers and the steamers that come in the pool section, which I thought was a great idea, and I've never thought to do that before, but I think it would be really cool to use them maybe in like some sort of vampire build or something spooky for Halloween, where you wanted to create some sort of a fog in your photos or just in general, and it just looks really cool. So I might try that again in the future. But anyway, so you can see here I'm very frustrated about, since using this terrain tool, what I've learned is that not all these rocks that come in all the debug items actually go into the terrain, and I don't use any mods, so I know that if I had used like the tool mod, I'd be able to sync them into the terrain, but I don't use any mods. So and that's just because I'm very nervous about, I've never heard anything bad about the tool mod, but I'm very nervous about things maybe, you know, messing up my game if there's an update or anything like that. So for that reason, I just haven't found reason enough to download it. So, but what bothers me is that we have all of these rocks that are beautiful, and you can't really use any of them in the terrain because they don't sink into it. They just float on top of it. So the regular ones that come in the game will sink into the terrain, and the ones that come with cats and dogs will sink into the terrain. Which is nice because I like the ones from cats and dogs, but it would be nice if I could use some of the other ones to do that as well. Otherwise, I'm just stuck using this one color, which is fine. It's worked out so far, but it's just something to think about if you're doing a terrain build and then you go to use the rocks. You'll see what I'm talking about. So anyways, what I used to build up these fountains here, well, these waterfalls, is the little spouts from the fountain section in the game. And what I did was I used the tallest one, and I saw this trick not too long ago. Somebody that I follow on Instagram actually posted something like this, and I kept trying to figure out how did they make it so realistic, because usually I just use the one that's shooting water forward, and then I saw this, and you just use the large jet water emitter, it's called. And what that does is it just actually creates a tall stream of water, and if you do it correctly, it can look like a waterfall rather than this water coming forward. So you can see I just built up these rocks. I put the water features in a couple of different areas, and then I basically, my idea was just to completely cover the rocks with a bunch of trees. I used the cherry blossoms. I used a base game bush. It's the one that's not perfectly round shaped. It's the one that's kind of unkept, I guess you could call it. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But I used that one in a lot of places, which actually worked out really good because I sized it up and it almost looked like a tree. And I did that because I couldn't really find any trees besides the one from cats and dogs. I used that one a couple of times, but I couldn't find any greenery that I thought really fit in with this whole theme. So I used that, and you can see here I used that base game bush for a lot of the covering of the terrain. I actually learned that trick from watching Kate Emerald's YouTube. That's a great bush to use for covering terrain. It just works really well. It fits into the hill, and you can't really see all the dirt. It covers it all up. So if anybody wants any other tips for building, check out Kate Emerald's YouTube, because she has awesome stuff on there. But anyways, one other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if you guys have caught it in any of my videos, but what I do is I usually always use, when I'm doing water features, I usually always use the water color that, I don't remember what pack it comes in, but it's the most expensive one, and it's like a really bright blue. And then what I do is I use the tile from Spa Day, the wall tile and the floor tile, and it comes in a navy blue, and I always put that in the pool or the fountain on the floor and on the walls, and it just creates this even deeper blue for the water, and it just looks really, really beautiful to me. So that's just a little trick that I just learned along the way to do, just to give it a different look. I've also done things like put rugs inside of the water and size them up, and you could create like a beautiful design that would be like in the bottom of a pool or something like that. So there's a lot of other stuff that you could do with that I never really thought about until I experimented with it. So just another cute little building tip for you guys. So anyways, what I did for the interior of this house is I kept it really simple, mostly neutral and white colors, and I put ladders in because when you're doing a shape like this, a lot of times the stairs take up so much room, and you have to put them in such an awkward spot when you're doing an octagon shape that it ends up leaving you no room to work, and it doesn't look good. So I use the ladders. I just kind of tuck them away in the corner to hide them, and I just tried to keep it, like I said, really simple. I use the same wallpaper on the outside as the inside, and it's just really clean looking to me. It seems like really calm and peaceful, which is the whole vibe that I think the whole build has. So I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. Just want to give you guys a reminder, I do still have a shell challenge going on until the middle of August. If you guys want to check that out, you can see all the rules on my Instagram. It's Erin with a Y0320, and that's the same as my gallery ID. You can download it from the gallery. And part of my shell challenge is that you can create a basement. There's no rules for the basement, but I want something really cool. So that's what I was going for, and I just thought there could be so many possibilities for a basement, different things that you could do, and I think it's a really great opportunity for people to be really creative. So like I said, if anybody wants to check that out, it's on Instagram and on the gallery. And I hope you all have a great day. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and please let me know what you guys think of this video. Bye!